Hey everybody, welcome back. Here we are, playing The Binding of Isaac. You'll have to forgive me, first off, for what Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do. I never had a choice. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Tainted Samson to Uber Mom. I can do that. I can keep 2 pieces of data in my head for 30 seconds. This guy, right? Was he faking? We'll never know. Okay, Uber Mom, also known as Alt Path. Understood. And you'll have to forgive me. It's been a couple of days since I played Isaac. You'll also have to forgive me. I did not mean to be so rude. It was not me. It was my food. It just popped up to say hello, and now it's gone back down below. I was thinking, I mean, that's a quote, of course, from the inimitable International Man of Mystery, also known as Austin Powers, from the movie franchise of the eponymous movie franchise of the same name. I was thinking the other day, like, I don't know, it's convergent evolution, I suppose. You know, I am not, maybe there was a time in my life where I was naive enough to think, like, if I referenced something, it had enough reach not to kick off a trend, but to possibly, like, reach somebody who then could reach somebody who then could... I thought we could get it. Who could kick off a trend? You know what I mean? So I've been talking about Austin Powers for a long time, but probably with, I would say, accelerating force. Interesting. In the last, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, and I feel like I've noticed an uptick of Austin Powers references as well. This year there's been some viral Austin Powers stuff like that. Is it called Movie World or Hollywood World in Australia? It's kind of like a Universal Studios type theme park where, you know, amongst other things, and I do believe that there are other things, but amongst other things, once every couple of hours, somebody dressed like Austin Powers comes out to the Quincy Jones theme song and does a little dance throughout the whole park. I don't take. We're looking amazing here, though, to be honest. It'd be nice to get a key so we could go alt path early, but... and then, of course, in Space Jam 2... they do see Mini-Me. I believe they go to Austin Powers. I haven't seen Space Jam 2. Just to be honest with you, I'm not trying to flex. I've barely seen Space Jam 1. And I was like 8 when it came out. So, I mean, when I say barely, what I mean is I've seen Space Jam 1. Holy crap. Probably like 30 times, but they were all before I was old enough to actually willfully commit things to my memory. I guess we'll just head down a floor for now. Let me caffeinate. But yeah, it appeared in Space Jam 2. And then also, I don't know, I just feel like there's been kind of an accelerating reference to Austin Powers lately. It's kind of crazy, man. Like, I was listening to Comedy Bang Bang yesterday, the noted podcast, and they were talking about how do you think that... in space, there is Austin Powers. And I was like, man, you know, what a question. I don't know how to answer that, but, you know, that's why I leave it to the experts, quite frankly. Okay, we gotta hold this key for a minute. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I'm loving what I'm seeing from that Eddie room. I think we can get some great stuff. It's funny that, like... you know, if you look at movies that came out in the late 1990s, at least for a certain subset of demographic of which I consider myself to be part of, for sure, it's hilarious. And, you know, maybe in the words of Tears for Fears and also Gary Jules from the Donnie Darko soundtrack, I do find it kind of funny. And maybe I find it kind of sad, but the dreams in which I'm picturing Austin Powers now. The dreams in which I'm shagging are the best I've ever had. Yeah, baby! But who would have thought, if you had asked in like the year 1998, whether people would be, you know, almost 30 years in the future, people would be talking more about Austin Powers or more about Saving Private Ryan. Anybody who said Austin Powers would have been you know, laughed out of the Tim Hortons, the most popular Canadian restaurant of that season, of that epoch, if you will. And yet, here we are. And I certainly think, you know, it's being referenced tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, and I don't know if I'm trying to suggest that Austin Powers has a more cultural impact and importance necessarily, but I'm not saying it. Believe it or not, I actually think we just don't go to the Devil Room because I want to try to get the Eddie Room to pop here. And I think we got time for it. I mean, we don't have a rush in on this one. We got no boss rush, no hush. Tainted Samson's just fun. We're gonna lose a lot of HP here, and I accept that. I'm okay with it. I'm living for it. That's an item that should be removed from the game because it doesn't do anything, and that's it's all well and good. Just let it go, man. There's my chest. We have the Hierophant to bail us out if we need to. This is a big one. Okay. That's not an angel room. So you're gonna think that I've lost my mind. Incubus is amazing, but I value the potential. Oh my god. The potential future deals with the angel was what I was gonna say more. And I'll honestly feel like we should just go through with this. So that we can maybe get more angel deals in the future as well. But I also valued our existing HP, which is the only thing that allowed us to play the Eddie Room to this extent to begin with. So even though we sacked a lot here, I mean, this is like a super deal with the devil, where I was very happy to give up, I don't know, like 8 HP in order to get revelations. It's not always the case, but it's definitely the case right here. I mean, I'm not upset by that. It's still really good. We might as well take the scissors, and basically the reason we're taking it, you know, for Isaac 101 is because later we can at least drop it and get a pedestal out of it, which, you know, I mean, phrasing is bad there, but there's multiple situations historically, I mean, that's just completely worthless for us, where it's good to take the pedestal with you, or to take the item with you, because, you know, if you replace it with another spacebar item, you're totally set. What? They have the audacity to say, like, your deal with the devil chance has gone down? What are you talking about? We already saw it. Like Patrick Stewart in the Ricky Gervais show's Extra, it's too late, I've already seen everything. And then I rode my bike away. On the grass. Now, so we got a shop right here. I know we have another Tinted Rock. I think I'll take. For 3 cents, I think I'll take. Very good. I know we have... if we get red hearts, it's probably the right time for us to pop this Hierophant. Where was... It wasn't the last floor, was it? That had all the... the Tinted Rocks? Maybe it was. I don't know. I've been thinking about Austin Powers, man. I mean, it's Powers season, man. There's got to be a good... It must be the season of the... I know you're going to say Shag. The season of the Mojo. Okay, I mean, I'm not mad. I'm just, you know, I think we can do better. Why? Well, because No Time to Die, the new James Bond film, has just come out. Or is coming out in about a week and a half. No, it's coming out in a week. I always... It's just crazy for me that October has begun. I know that it's, you know, very unsurprising. You know, after September comes October. It's just September went by really fast. Mostly because of... Oh, dude, I mean, look. Mostly because of Survivor. I'll take. Just to try it, man. You know, I'm such a big Probst head. I watch everything Probst has done. Survivor's a big one. The other one is Rock and Roll Jeopardy. Jeopardy used to be so popular, it indeed summoned a spin-off called Rock and Roll Jeopardy, hosted by Jeff Probst on VH1, a music channel that I don't even know if it exists anymore. I think sometimes about how to describe VH1 to people, Because I think it is the kind of channel that doesn't have a chance to exist anymore. In the 90s, and probably earlier, but I can't speak for that. But in the 90s, music television was still so popular. There was MTV, MTV2, and MTV2 is where you got, you know, your Jackass and your Wild Boys and your so-ons and your so-forths. But then also there was VH1, which was like, hey, do you love music but don't really want to listen to it? Instead, you just want to know, like, you know, the story behind the music? Or you want to watch pop-up video, which will give you information about a music video as it's playing? Look, I think Monster Manuel is worse, but let's let it ride, man. Let's let it ride. It'll be fun. Potato peeler? I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. I think we're just gonna get our key piece and bail. And I'll be happy with that for sure. And, like, spoilers, Behind the Music was a very often parodied show. It was VH1's flagship music documentary series. Literally, and by literally, of course, I mean basically. I mean, not literally, but almost every episode followed the exact same path, which was like, you know, they grew up in a small town in America, pursuing their dreams of singing songs and dancing. And then it's like, you know, they were such a quiet kid. And then, you know, then they hit it big. The record industry machine takes notice of them and says, you know what, I will let you show me how you want it to be. Tell me, baby, what I need to know now, because. And then, well, actually, you know what, to be fair, I shouldn't have used Britney Spears as a reference. Not just because of her ongoing legal battle over her conservatorship, but also because I think she has one of the more unique stories of music. A lot of the, like, hair metal bands from the 80s and stuff like that, when you'd watch the documentary, it's like, we were doing so much heroin every night. And you're like, and then there's always like a little coda on that, and everything was great until one day. And you're like, I probably could have seen that one coming. There were no consequences for our actions whatsoever until one day, and then it's, you know, like somebody died. But yeah, now we're in a world where not even one music channel exists on television still playing music. To be fair, I mean, for everybody that's like maybe a little annoyed with MTV, like MTV's kind of like a punching bag for the fact that it's music television but doesn't really play music. You gotta recognize, right? Like, I'm not trying to defend the 22 straight hours of ridiculousness that they play on a daily basis, but like, in a world where you can pick whatever music and music video you want to see whenever you want. If you decide you don't like it, you can X out of it in 2 seconds and watch literally anything else for free instantaneously. How does MTV survive? I mean, I guess there's a couple ways. Maybe they do become more of like a documentary service, but that kind of content, you know, that's hard and expensive to make. Tosh.0, on the other hand, you know, is just viral videos and cast-off jokes from the 9th season of South Park. It's like, you know, you could do like 7 or 8 episodes a day. And I say that as somebody who's very well versed in that kind of output. So I guess I'm not saying it's good. I mean, MTV is one of the channels that I'm always surprised when I have it on cable, because I'm like, I don't pay for it. I tell you that. I mean, it must have come with TLC. For people who love garbage programming, here's more up your alley. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can do this. I'm not scared. Excuse me, Judgment. Excuse me, I'm a little scared. I gave you so much right there. Dude, actually, Filigree Feather could be kind of sick. Obviously, we're gonna stop it there, but I think we need HP for now. Angelic Spoils? I just hit the most incredible angelic yield. I returned a soap dispenser from the school bathroom that I stole and filmed it in Minecraft. This is satirical, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, forgot what I was talking about. But it was good. We were making good progress. Oh, I was talking about Survivor, as usual. No, I really had gone, you know, years and years without seeing Survivor. Probably, like, literally, well, almost a decade for sure. Sorry, almost 2 decades for sure. But I am kind of back in this season. It's just, you know, it's a fun show. Just, okay. Just a fun show. And I gotta tell you, I can totally understand why, and please don't shoot the messenger for this one. I can totally understand why the Survivor and Big Brother reality TV social media spheres are absolutely insane. I say that as somebody who, like, every time Big Brother starts a new season, if Dan ever tweets anything that's like, hey, watching Big Brother, to be fair, he gets a lot of replies that are like, you know, hey, you're the greatest player ever, Dan. It's so happy you're still enjoying the show. He also gets more than his fair share of replies that are like, you snake emoji. I can't believe that you would. And, you know, you're just like, for a while, I was like, that's insane. These people have lost their minds. And I still agree with that, obviously. But watching Survivor, knowing everything that admittedly the castaways couldn't possibly know about the situation because you have not 24/7, but you got access to, like, information that they don't have access to. Okay, you got me. Watching them make decisions, it will turn you into a crazy person a little bit. Speed's low, but I can live with that. Like, for example, I don't want to spoil Survivor necessarily, but if you haven't seen episode 2, there's one tribe that, you know, they've lost literally every single game. Admittedly, there's only been, like, you know, 4 games so far or something like that. They've lost every single one handily for what appears to be, I don't know if I say preventable reasons, but, like, you know, in the first game, they had to, like, you know, find 5 objects that were all located around the same place that the other tribe's objects were, and then they just, like, missed one and were in dead last by a huge degree. And then, like, I forget what happened in the immunity challenge, not that it really matters, but anyway, on this one, like, a lady had to get across a balance beam. She got, like, halfway across and then was like, nope, and then just jumped in the water. Then she tried to scoot over, like, on her butt, and then she started to get, like, chafed or splinters or something like that, and she was like, nope, and she just jumped in the water again, and, you know, cost her team like 10 minutes. And then, so they're getting shellacked out here, right, in these competitions. And when it comes time, I mean, they keep voting out the people that would help them out in the challenges. And you're watching at home, you're like, look, this person, it's like innately human. Before you really think about it, it's innately human to want to tweet that person and be like, what are you doing, you idiot? To the person who's spearheading the alliances. Be like, are you insane? Now, what's funny is they know something I don't know. They might go on to win the show with this strategy that what appears to be not working right now might actually just be sort of off-kilter and actually work as a result of that. And, you know, these games have a lot of variance associated with them, I'm assuming. So, you know, even bad strategy can do good things sometimes, and good strategy can still lose you the game. But, you know, when you're watching... This is a little spooky, man. When you're watching along at home, you're like, what are you doing, you idiot? I don't justify it, obviously, but I can totally see how watching this show could turn someone into a crazy person on social media. 100%. And please don't take it out of context. You do not have my sympathy if you do that. You got to be an adult. Like, there's any number of different... oh, son of a... There's any number of different mechanisms that could turn you into a crazy person on a daily basis. Driving's a big one. I get turned into an insane person when I drive, but luckily it's largely, like, only me. Like, it's in my car by myself. And I'll say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess when they put that, big red hand up, that means, please come over. Now's the right time to walk. And when they put the walk sign on, that's like, hey, don't walk, stand still. Stay over there, you'll walk soon. Anyway, yeah, Survivor, huh? It's also funny, like, because I followed, like, Big Brother back in the day as well. But I also, like, every once in a while, I peep in on the Big Brother subreddit. Especially when they think that Dan is going on the show, I peep the Big Brother subreddit. Just to see, what's going on. Just because it's such a different world, than what I'm used to. And I will say, and I think they have a lot in common, like, with gamers, okay? I say this as a gamer and as somebody watching Survivor. The people in these communities, at least the most vocal people, one of the biggest parts of their personality is that they love Survivor. It's like step one in their Twitter bio. And then if you read all of their comments on social media, and especially Reddit, 99% of them are just complaining about everything. This is admittedly just a broad look. And I'm not, if you find enjoyment out of it, hey, as long as you're keeping it, and I'm a big believer in this, as long as you're keeping it to your own, insular community, you can basically complain about whatever you want to complain about. Like, sometimes people will come to me with inane complaints about, let me rephrase, that's overly rude, what I consider to be inane complaints about my content. Or alternatively, genuine complaints, but phrased in such a way as to be, like, deliberately rude. I think sometimes they don't realize that, they're like, yawn, another session of this game, and I'm like, can you be nice? And they're like, oh, I guess constructive criticism from an objective and rational mindset is not allowed anymore. And I'm like, no, you could say, hey, any chance you're going to play something different later, blah, 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 are you ever going to come back to this game? Like, we get that all the time. Yawn, and the Super Auto Pets, Resident Sleeper, another session of Super Auto Pets, Resident Sleeper. Hold on, it's called a shortcut. You've never heard of a shortcut before? Send it. Okay, there we go. And then you got to take this, and you got to use your very limited speed to land it in exactly the right spot. And I'm always like, you hit me with something like that. I'm aware of the fact, I've been on the internet a long time. Fair enough. I'm aware of the fact, you can't stop people from saying whatever they want to say. I just wish, like, why don't you just keep it in the other, in a private Discord with other weirdos like you? Excuse me, where the heck is my key? What have I done? Did I not get a key? I shot it out here. You see that? It was hidden, like, in the worst location. That's crazy, because according to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the sun may rise in the east. At least it's settled in a final location. It's also understood that Hollywood sells Californication. Okay, we're okay. I mean, hold on. Do we have something on the shop? We've been holding these bone hearts for like 1,000 years. We have something on the shop that might help us out? Nope, not even close. All right. Well, of course we're going to go to the mausoleum. One of the things about that you got to know is that I'm just a notch in your bedpost and you're just a line in a song. Get me over here. All I'm saying is this, and this is where I have the sympathy for, I guess, the castaways, as they say. We can't afford the risk of a speed down, I think, so... A little spooky, but that's okay. That almond milk is going to be interesting. You can say whatever you want. I'm not naive enough to think that that's ever going to... Or maybe it wouldn't even be a good thing if it were stopped, okay? But, I wish that when you got to say something like... ridiculous... you would just do it to other people who are predisposed to agree with you instead of just trying to inflict harm. That's all I'm saying. And the same thing happens in the reality shows, man. People, like... I can't even imagine, to be honest, how much abuse, like, somebody takes if they're on 90 Day Fiancé. And do they deserve it? No. Are the people on the show sometimes... Let me put it this way. Do they make remarkable decisions? the likes of which I could not possibly envision making for myself. Yes. But, you know, you go to your Discord and you say, can you believe what... oh, now I've forgotten, like, all their names. Who's the guy, it was Anna and... Okay, well now, anyway. Names have been changed to protect the innocent. Are you going to the Discord? You go, can you believe what Anna said yesterday? I don't believe it. It's crazy. You know, and then, you know, on social media, you just do the same thing. It's the same thing, and you ignore them. The Hierophant. Sun card is good. Empress, Ace of Spades. Okay, well, hold on. This is kind of a big floor for us. Yeah, Ace of Spades. What the? Okay. We did it. What the heck, man? I don't want to, like this, I'm just annoyed. Beautiful. Anyway, long story short, I didn't mean to get on a social media kick. It's just like, it's one of the things that's interesting to me, you know, is that, like, fandom is, like, 6 months of being, like, I really love this thing, and then, like, a lifetime, for many people at least, a lifetime of, being like, this new thing that is the same as the old thing doesn't quite match up to the quality of the old thing that I have after all that waiting in my mind. So now, like, I hate it. And I'm like, okay, why don't you watch, like, you know, 60 Minutes instead? They're like, nah, I gotta make it well known to Jeff Probst that, like, I freaking hate what they've done with the show, and I watch every episode twice still. You know? It's just weird. To me, it's just weird to me. As good as Forget Me Now is, or could be, I don't really, and it's mostly because I don't know how good our run, well, that was not smart. I don't know how good our run is right now. I don't want to leverage my HP to try to get, like, better items right now. I feel like this is a bit of a run out the clock type situation. Hold on. You're gonna take my familiars, please. This run, I mean, like, I'm having a bit of a crisis in Isaac, to be honest with you. Like, if we were to lose this run after getting revelations, like after everything positive that's happened to us, that would be hard for me to deal with. That would be a bit of a sobering realization. Did I lose my bone heart? What the? Okay, did I just walk into damage for no reason? Did I just walk it? That time there was a reason. Okay, I took more damage than I'm inclined to be happy to admit. Oh, you know what? Look at this though. We get a normal angel item. I'm in a terrible position here, man. Well, so it's really, do we want spectral tears or a 1-up? Not your, I mean, normally Dead Dove would be great. Let's not be upset about that, because it's because we got revelations that Dead Dove kind of sucks. Yo, now we're talking. Salvation's okay. I honestly think Spectral... I mean, maybe Almond Milk... Okay, actually, it was all worth it for Seraphim. After all that, it was all worth it for Seraphim. Wouldn't mind getting a little extra damage, though. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think I'm just going to donate to you. I know we got one more shop, but... things are starting to coalesce a little bit here. Let's keep, as Dan calls it, let's keep our savings account high. Only thing we really want to buy from a shop at this point, you know, maybe some Spirit Hearts if we get the chance, but... okay, moving on. But yeah, I honestly, I've been enjoying Survivor. I think it's funny coming into a show that's 41 seasons deep and only having a moderate awareness of even how the show works. Like, for example, I stopped watching the show before they added these things called immunity idols, which are like little hidden objects you can find that make you immune. from being voted out one time. You don't get to hold them until they're used. You get to use them when you think it's most appropriate. And honestly, like, all that, like, gamesmanship on Survivor is kind of like, it's novel for me now. Like, people are complaining that, like, some of the things that people find in the world of Survivor, like the castaways find, are too difficult. They're, like, more of a punishment than a reward. And I'm like, welcome to Isaac, baby. That's how she goes. The guy was, you know, rooting around in the jungle a little bit, found an envelope that said beware. Opened it up, and it was like, you have now lost your vote at tribal council until you can get people to, until other people find this note on the other tribes, and you can convince them to say a ridiculous phrase like, I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. You can't vote at tribal council anymore. People are like, the strategy of the game is totally ruined, and I'm like, my man just picked up soy milk. What an interesting idea. But my winners pools at the Allstate Peoria branch of the... Anyway, you get the idea. My fantasy survivor pool is getting destroyed by this scumbag, Jeff Probst. Okay, no. We don't want to fight yet. Regardless, we don't want to get involved with all the lawyers. What do we got here? Is this run workable? Is it makeable? Does it have a little juice? And more importantly, does it have a little squeeze? The world may never know. I think, for what it's worth, this run, like, Tainted Samson is good. Actually great, let's be real. This, like, Berserk ability is nuts. Mystery Sack, it can do something for us. We're playing, like, pretty bad Isaac lately. I don't know what's happening with that. I think, you know, there was a several month period where I largely played, like, a lot of Isaac, and that was pretty much my life. When Repentance came out, we're kind of moving past that, trying to get back more into variety, unlock the banter muscles that have been atrophying for a while. It has, some days it works better than others, but... You know, it's always an up and down process in Isaac, you know? It's never just like, you know, linear. I should have been smacking the crap out of you there. It's never just linear. Fair enough. You have owned me. But if we lose this one, it will be hard for me to live with, knowing how good this run could be, right? So we're losing our knife. I guess we'll take damage. Our damage has been a little, slash a lot weak. That was like a 1/3 increase. You know what? Can I tell you something? You're gonna laugh at me. It is early, right? Like, first off, it's a Friday. TGIF, baby. Secondly, what the heck is this, man? What the heck is this? Secondly, almond milk screwed it up for me, but I have been, for 10 minutes here, I thought that our range stat was our damage stat, and I'm not joking. So I thought we had 6.5 damage, and I was like, oh, that makes sense why our damage is kind of whack. It's not that good. That makes sense why it's taken so long to, like, kill some of these enemies. Then I realized it was actually like 1.6 or something. I think if we can make it to Mom with good HP, we win, because the sun card is the question mark sun card is very nice. It's very good. It's very hip, very swag. I like it. I'm a little scared. I would say I'm a little scared that we're not gonna have that manifest. Like, I think it would be not even, like, out of the question in the slightest for us to die even on this floor. Crane game. What are you doing? We needed, like, the first pickup there, because I'm not... I don't know how much more money I'm willing to give to get to the D8. Although, to be honest, to shuffle our stats around... Oh, I wonder why I'm bad at Isaac. Just blowing up a donation or a blood bank when you have 9 HP to work with. Well, I wouldn't say I'm bad at Isaac. Maybe just playing a little lazier lately. It's because my brain is freaking swimming in super auto pets, man. I'm gonna, that's my, like, a 2022 resolution. I'm gonna stop apologizing for my taste in games. I actually now feel like I'm part of that vanguard moving forward that is kind of getting sick of AAA games. Not all AAA games are cut from the same cloth, but they all, you know, have a certain degree of similarity. Well, almost all of them have a certain degree of similarity associated with them. You know, like Deathloop is the one I hate to say it, because Deathloop, the reason that it's the target for some of my derision is just that it was interesting enough for me to actually play it, whereas most AAA games that come out, I completely ignore. So the fact that it's doing something a little new and a little novel and a little interesting, actually has made it the, you know what, there we go, has made it the target of a little bit of an insult for me, which is not fair, because I actually think that it's quite good. Or at least pretty great. But, we still have... What is this? Oh, no. Montezuma's Revenge. But, like, when I was playing... that was kind of a good thing for me. When I played Deathloop, and I was like, as interesting as this game is, all, like, the AAA trappings of, like, the tutorials 2 hours long, and... Hey, you gotta make sure to use the Kyber crystals in order to cement and crystallize your memory in this capacity. And I'm just like, bro, like, it honestly cannot hold a candle to super auto pets where you, like, buy a duck and then it attacks the enemy dog and then you just go frickin' buck wild on it. That's... I think I'm part of a new... Well... Let's not call it a new generation, because, I mean, like, I'm bald. But I think... Can I say it? And I'm asking Gen Z if they're working with me on this one. I think story-based AAA games kind of millennial core right now. And I don't know if you follow social media. Look, we can't change it. Being a millennial's not really cool right now, okay? It's not, like, as bad as being a baby boomer. Most of the people you call boomers are probably millennials or Gen X anyway at the oldest, but we actually got we got 2 deals. Oh, because we have duality. Let's go for it, man. We got the feather. We might as well take a chance on me. What is millennial core? The most millennial core video that I can think of, and the best example, is like the Funny or Die videos where the little, like, 5-year-old girl or 2-year-old girl is a landlord and she says, like, the F word and stuff like that. That's the least generous viewing of what it means to be a millennial, is that you think that, or, like, you know, Bat Fight is, like, the funniest video of all time, or, you know, like... If you watched Sarah Silverman on the Jimmy Kimmel Show sing I'm frickin' Matt Damon like more than 10 times on YouTube, you might be a millennial. And I'm a millennial. I you know, what can I do? All I'm saying is I feel like, you know, the concept of playing like a game published by EA is like it's millennial core, and Zoomers are like, screw that, man, give me my dopamine right away. And I'm right there with them. That's why, like, super auto pets, the barrier to entry on dopamine was like 0. I'm being completely honest with you. I think we're moving into... Nothing is absolute, right? But I feel like we're moving into... I'm just sending it, man. Give me a try here. We're moving into an era of it being more acceptable to have mechanics-focused games being cool. Like, when you think of it, like, you know, even stuff like, you know, League of Legends is mechanics-driven. I know I go over this again and again. But I'm like, I don't know. I just... For me, I'm not trying to sound like a TED Talk or something here. But I think a very bold choice from some AAA games, if they didn't have to concern themselves with providing shareholder value. Help me. would be to ask the honest question, does this really even need to have a story? Because there are games where I'm like, the story is great. And then there's games where I'm like, this didn't even need to be here. You had a cool, like, mechanic where you go back in time or something. Why not just, like, build some arenas around that where you can go back in time and do some cool stuff? And the answer is because it would, you know, affect sales. But maybe not forever. I'm dying here? Are you were gonna summon 2 episodes of Pong? I don't think so, Tim. Okay, smack him. You gotta smack. I still think, you know, in spite of the fact that we took like 12 damage there, I still think we come out of this, believe it or not. You should not have stood there. I think it might be a bit of a longer fight. But I think we're coming out of it. It all comes down to our rage, I think. And not losing HP for dumb reasons like we just did. Okay. Okay. There is a part of me that's like, why did we only have like 12 items in our item track? I was enraged that whole time, huh? Well, it's not like we could have done too much about it, to be fair. I respect myself for doing the reroll, because the run was weird. The almond milk sent it on a very dangerous path. That hurts. Oh my god, we actually made it. What a run. Up and down, to put it politely. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna go brush my teeth. See ya.